So
We're
weird.
live.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's nice to see you guys back.
Yes. Troy, your lighting is so good.
I know.
Oh,
like
that's because
really
my
good.
lamp is like, you can see my lamp in my glasses. It's like right here, blinding me.
You know, but your skin is popping and that's what matters.
And your
Thank
hair, it looks so
you.
good in this angle, this lighting.
Really? I feel like it looks
Mhm.
dry.
Well, no, we're kind of obsessed. We've already stated that color is like really
That
good.
color is everything.
So
Thank you.
It's really good.
it's like as we wait for like 2 more minutes for people to join in the chat. If you're in the chat, tell us what happened this weekend. Did you have a great weekend? Like, did you read anything good? Tell us in the comments. Something we'll talk about later.
Troy, your hair is giving me Pepper Ann.
Oh my gosh, that's the perfect color for it.
You know who someone told me on TikTok that I reminded them
What?
of, and I was like,
I'm scared.
this is just because my glasses are not these glasses, the orange ones I typically wear. They kind of look like ginger. But I was like, this is just because I'm light skinned and I just keep glasses on. I can never remember her name, but the black girl from Matilda.
Lavender?
Lavender.
I was like, I don't look anything like that girl.
You don't look anything like that girl at all.
I was like, this is literally because I'm light skinned and
Lavender's not even light skinned, is she?
She's not. That's why I'm confused.
No, she's not as light as me.
Yeah, I'm like, how did we get here?
Very confused.
I just commented, I was just like, it's probably the ginormous glasses because I don't.
It's gotta be the glasses. I mean, granted, she's absolutely adorable.
She's so adorable. That does not look like
She is.
But she's got the, like, her face is much rounder than yours too.
Yeah, nothing like me. Not even when I was a kid. I was very confused.
Like, okay.
It's okay.
It's
Oh my God, Novelist!
Novelist, we haven't seen you in forever.
Oh, I love it.
Well, hi guys. Welcome to Black Prose Club, where Black lives, Black books, and Black stories have always mattered. I am one of your hosts, Brittany, aka Melanin Eclectic.
I'm Oshale of Oshi Reads and Oshi Writes Here.
And I'm Troy Nicole of Ink Flare Studio or Bookish Waffler. I never say that, but technically of Bookish Waffler.
I mean, fair.
Why not?
If you're an OG,
Just throw
Black
that in
Prose,
there.
if you're
Let's
OG,
bring it out of retirement.
right? One day. Also, is everybody
It's
drinking
appropriate.
out of cute mugs?
What?
I said, is everybody drinking out of cute mugs, and I didn't get a mug or anything to drink out
Oh,
of?
she like drinking.
Oh, girl.
Look,
I know.
Never, ever going to get monetized.
No,
Ever.
you definitely cannot drink on YouTube.
let me just say that the last 2 months of my life has been a time. So I have been drinking every day.
You know,
I'm a dial back once I get over my little hump.
considering what's been going on for the past 2 months of your life, I'm not judging you. I just didn't realize what you were drinking. Like,
I know a White Claw when I see one.
White Claw tastes like ass to me, so I
Girl, bye.
recognize it.
Girl, bye for real.
No.
I love y'all with everything, but y'all can keep that one for yourself.
Let's just quickly segue out of this.
Yeah. So today I guess we're gonna say things that I saw happening on the internet because, like, why not? Despite everybody reading Spare all at the same time, bringing Prince Henry's book to like number 1.1.1.1.
Oh my God, you called him Henry. Can we just focus on that for a moment? And I love it because you clearly give no fucks. You're like, Henry? His name is definitely Harry.
Listen, when I tell you I don't remember any of their names, it is dead serious. I go through the list like, which white boy is it? Like,
Brittany's like, I have no dog in this fight. I'm just a spectator.
None. Just none. Every single time. I've watched so many like TikToks that keep popping up on my thing about them talking about this book that I feel like I read the book too. So
have you seen the penis TikToks?
Huh?
I am confusion.
So there are these passages where he goes on and on about he calls his toja, about his penis. And it's freaking hilarious. And people like taken out of context / if you haven't read the book, you're kind of like, what is happening right now? But we don't have to elaborate, but they're out there.
So many
nothing.
So many questions.
He talks about it on and on and on, and I don't want to go into it because it's like I don't want to deviate down that path. But anyway,
I have not like when I tell you, I am like shook right now. That is not what I was expecting.
That is right. He gets frostbite. He like goes to like the north. Antarctica. I want to say Antarctica, the North Pole, somewhere really up north. Like, and he gets frostbite in that area.
Yep. All right. Well, things that I was not expecting to talk about on Black Prose. Frostbitten pink things.
I'm confusion.
Wow. All right.
There are a lot of TikToks about that, so I was wondering if that was one of the TikToks.
I feel like now that you said it out loud, the FBI agent on my phone is now about to make that like reoccurring thing on my TikTok now. So,
sorry.
I don't know. For me personally, the only reason that I was like, I'm not really hyped about this book, nor do I really care about it, is because the only reason that Black people are even like, to the Black people that are like, I'm reading it because I love mess. I get it, because from what I hear, he just was dragging his family. Cool. To the people that like saw him as some type of like white savior, my question was always like, why? Because he didn't understand and he didn't give a fuck until it like started affecting him. Like,
I think America has a very interesting relationship with the royal family. Like, I can kind of understand if you come from a Commonwealth country currently, or a country that was formerly part of the Commonwealth. Like Nigeria was formerly part of the Commonwealth of Britain. So growing up, the royal family was kind of put on a pedestal as a Nigerian. And like, even though we did gain our independence, like before I was born, there are still so many things that I grew up with that rolled over from the time when we were colonized by the British and when we were part of the British Empire. Like to this day, I remember like my parents' obsession with like drinking tea, which then became my obsession of drinking tea. We literally used to have like tea time when we were in school, like God Save the Queen and like the British national anthem, I suppose. Like I knew it, like just certain things that rolled over from being like a former part of the Commonwealth / because of the colonization. So it's kind of like, if you have that history, like you're either were a part of the British Empire at one point, or you still are part of the Commonwealth, as they now call it, like Canada. And but what's another one that's part of the Commonwealth? I want to say Barbados, but I might be far off. I want to say Jamaica, but I think Jamaica might still be. But those, like getting an interest in his book makes sense to me, because the royal family was literally shoved down our throats, willingly or unwillingly. But the American relationship with the royal family is very interesting. And I think that a large part of what I've seen has been the rollover of love from Princess Diana has rolled over to her kids, because Black people love Princess Diana. Like, I'm just going to keep it real. Like, a lot of us love Princess Diana, and I don't know why. I feel like maybe if she had lived, the love wouldn't have been as long-standing, but because she did pass in such a tragic way, she's kind of been immortalized as this like Mother Teresa type figure. Mm-hmm. But that's what I saw. I saw a lot of like, well, I loved Princess Diana, or with like Gen Zers, well, like my mom loves Princess Diana, or my grandma loves Princess Diana, and it like rolls over. So they're just kind of like, the love has kind of carried over to Harry. And that has generated interest in his book. And, of course, the mess with the family and things like that. And I guess the Meghan Markle angle, people wanting to call her a Black princess, even though she doesn't even call herself a Black princess, which is very interesting.
I can honestly say I did not know Harry and William. Yes?
Yeah, I think that's his name.
Okay. Harry and William's names.
Don't ask me. We know I don't know.
I did not know their names till college.
That's fair.
That's back when he still had hair, right?
Yes.
Listen, I used to know his name at one point because I was like, he's not a bad-looking white dude. But then,
I knew Princess Diana's name because, like Oshale said, she's really immortalized in society. And I knew she had kids, and I knew one of them, the oldest one, was gonna be the monarch someday. But other than that, actually, my parents do not. My parents do not even care about the royals. So I knew they existed. I knew a little bit about them, but other than that, I definitely didn't know.
Yeah.
Interesting. My next question, did y'all watch Beyonce's performance in Dubai on TikTok live?
I missed it.
Somebody put on Twitter, they were like, thank you to the brave soul that posted that. Have fun in court.
Wasn't it a private performance?
First of all, a particular hotel was opening. That's why all those fine black people, including my bae Winston, was in Dubai. They were there for Beyonce's private performance. It was a hotel opening. They paid her like $24 million.
Dang.
For this private thing. And when I tell you, somebody was live on TikTok for the entire performance.
Wow.
I watched the entire performance TikTok live, and all I kept thinking was like, yo, just go ahead and drop your GoFundMe.
Yeah.
I feel like the least I can do is drop $10 to your GoFundMe.
Your legal fees
that are about to happen. If you did not make it private, if you didn't make a fake account and didn't do this off of VPN, listen, you're done. Because remember the girl that leaked that 2-second track of one of her songs before the Renaissance album came out?
Yeah.
She was hit with that letter to be sued.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what's about to happen with this person.
I think because we live in such a wild time where people will do anything for clout, people will literally risk being sued and risk, danger and all kinds of crazy stuff to film things that they shouldn't film. They can't just live in the moment. They're just like, oh my God, if I go live, I'm going to get so many followers.
Like that person who videotaped that guy jumping off of a Disney World parking garage. It happened a few months ago. He jumped and they filmed it. People were just like, please don't post this. Nobody wants to see that.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm. It was either Disney World or Disneyland, but I think it was World.
Oh my gosh. See, that's what I'm talking about. People just want to go viral. They just want to get clicks and views and likes and comments and followers. It's crazy.
I'm a terrible person because I still say shout out to them for risking their whole whatever to show me that, because it was a great performance. I look forward to her Renaissance tour. I would love it if she go ahead and release these dates so that my budget can take a break, because the way that I can't touch a section of my budget because I know Beyonce is going on tour is real. I'm not a part of the Beehive, but I respect her musicality and her artistry. And I already know if I pay to go see her, it's going to be a performance that it's worth paying for.
100%. I mean, I know a Beehive member who has a Beyonce fund, a separate bank account just for Beyonce concert tickets. So respect.
I mean, technically speaking, if you really want to get good tickets to go see somebody that you like in concert, and you have a passport, always consider going overseas.
Mm.
Tickets are cheaper for concerts overseas. You want to be right next to Beyonce's feet. It's probably way cheaper to do that overseas. And I think that you don't have to worry about the bullshit that's Ticketmaster.
Mm.
So
I wonder why it is cheaper overseas.
Because here the bots buy all of the tickets and then raise the prices to astronomical whatever until the night before. and then the night before, the prices go down a little bit so you get a chance. But yeah, no, there's a monopoly on it right now, and nobody's doing anything to stop it.
Yeah, it sucks.
So yeah. So that's all my pop culture moments. The just really threw me off. So like, I have nothing else.
I'm so sorry. I thought that's what you were talking about because those videos were going viral on TikTok.
No, I was seeing very rated G videos. Like clearly now I'm not because we talked about it, but
ooh. Yeah, no. Every day I would come into work because my coworker knew I was listening to the audiobook. And she's not a reader, but she's on TikTok a lot. And she'd be like, oh my God, this clip. And I'd be like, yeah. And then I'd have to explain the context of it. It was a great time.
Yeah. Also, Miss WSC Reader, I don't know if Ticketmaster is going to court, but oh yeah, no. They are, because once they messed up that Taylor Swift thing, then all of a sudden everybody started caring. I was like, oh.
Of course.
I had to jack up Taylor Swift's money first. Got it. But yeah, also my next question to everybody is, are you actually reading anything this month?
I am. Where's my backpack? Oh, never mind. It's so far.
Dang.
I'm reading nothing.
You can just tell us what you're reading. You don't have to show it.
Okay. It's 5 Tuesdays in Winter by Lily King.
That sounds cute.
Winter. Okay.
It's a collection of short stories.
Oh, that's sweet.
Ooh, short stories. I've been in a mystery kick.
Ooh,
also, this genre of like cozy mystery, I've always had questions about when like new genres are created, because I'm like, aren't all mysteries cozy?
You know what's? I have a really funny thing to say about that. So my sister today, I don't remember the context, but you guys know Pig, so she's just not the brightest bulb in the bunch. But so I don't know what I said to her, but we both said the same thing at the same time. And she said, okay, John Wick, get out my head. And I was like, John Wick? And she was just like, yeah. And I'm like, isn't he like a killer, like an assassin or something? Like, I haven't seen John Wick in like years. Like, I haven't seen the new ones, but like, what does that have to do with reading your mind? She goes, oh wait, no, Sherlock Holmes.
No, that's, you know what?
I was like, Christina, that is too far.
Shout out to Little Sisters, because wow,
that is too far from my understanding. Like, I would have never put 2 and 2 together.
No,
she finally figured it out.
You said that, I was like, who is she trying to say? I would have never put Sherlock Holmes in that conversation.
I thought she was going to say some other Keanu movie, but then she said Sherlock Holmes, and I was so confused. I was like, Sherlock Holmes doesn't read minds either, so what are you talking about?
We love your sister to death, but my God.
Oh, so sweet. She tried.
She needs so much help.
It was her sounding so serious, and then to realize that she named the wrong person. Like, good. It's fine. Oh, Shalay, what are you reading?
So I haven't been reading anything. I don't know. Okay, so there's 2 types of reading for me. There's reading where it's like I'm reading just a whole bunch of like quick little like romances, and I'm not actually really taking anything in that deeply. And then there's like a book that I'm really invested in. So the last thing I finished was the audiobook for Spare, which I actually really enjoyed. And after that, I've just been reading a whole bunch of short little like romance vignettes. But I'm about to start a fantasy novel that has been like highly anticipated for me, because the first book came out, I want to say it came out in 2021, and I read it. It was really good. And then the next book just came out, and I'm about to start reading it soon. It's called The Wolf and the Wildflower by Ella Fields. So I'm excited.
That one is actually, yeah.
I love that whenever me and Oshale read fantasy, which is a genre we always read, yes. Brittany's always like...
First of all, it's because I got hazed so bad in this book club that I pick up romance on my own.
But like, we always read fantasy. Like, it's just,
you know. That doesn't stop me from being extra about the fact that
that's really funny. That is hilarious.
Also, cozy mysteries have no on-page blood, gore, or sex or profanity. Good to know. I really thought that somebody had just made up that genre, because I was really like, when I looked up mysteries and it was like 10 cozy mysteries you would enjoy, and I was like, okay.
I don't know if I'd have to try that out, because I feel like I want a mystery to like really throw me off and like really be like, oh my goodness in it. I don't know if I want a cozy one. I have to try that out.
I need my gore. I need something explicit to happen. Either somebody's being stabbed or somebody's getting it good. I need something.
I've been reading some that are considered cozy mysteries. So like they still happen, but it's not on screen. So it's like I walked in the room and like I saw a puddle of blood and then I saw his body. And then it turns out he'd been stabbed. So like it's still there, but it's I guess it's because it's not like bleh kind of thing. So yeah. I mean, I personally like mysteries. When I was younger, I used to read mysteries all the time, kind of like Miss WOC Reader. But then like I stopped for a while, so then I just like paused. Also, novelist Read Love Listen wants to know, what fanfics are you reading? And now that you mention it, we also want to know, what fanfics are you reading? Yeah. I can't do psychological thrillers, but maybe I'll try a cozy mystery someday. I mean, they have plenty of book lists out for cozy mysteries, so I feel like y'all would enjoy it. I, however, have not been reading at all.
Really?
I don't know.
Very shocking for Brit.
I'm not in the mood to read.
You're usually like the one who is reading, and then we're both like, eh.
Yeah. I'm not. I just, like, I was reading in the beginning of the month. And then now I've just been drawing and drawing and drawing. So I'm like, maybe I need to like get into some new audiobooks to listen to while I draw. But my mind is on new products and trying to get ahead of the product curve. So it's like, I'm in the mood to draw. And since I go through like 3 or 4 months of the year where there's like complete artist block, it's like, I need to take full accountability of this time that I actually want to draw, and that I'm actually making things that I like, so that I not get off schedule too much.
That's fair.
Ooh, also, a book suggestion. We should have like a little ding noise for book suggestions.
Right.
Actually, I'm reading a cozy right now with a Black MC called Against the Current. It's about a family-owned Caribbean bakery.
That sounds cute.
That sounds cute. Yeah,
I like that.
We're gonna write that on my list. I honestly I have 2 notes in my phone. One of them literally says book recommendations from Jerry, and the other one, it says Miss WOC Reader Suggestion.
Right.
I have WOC. I always call her that, Vina's blog in my favorites. So I'm just like, okay, I need new recommendations.
Right.
I'm gonna go tap on this
and refresh. Yeah, definitely.
I'm just like, oh no, I don't know what to read. Which I think for today, we do want to give a special shout out today, aka what will eventually be our commercial time slot, but we're speaking that into existence. But for now, Troy has an announcement for you guys.
Yes. So I don't always talk about my channel when I'm on here, but I have I guess it's mainly my shop channel, but I do journaling and I do vlogs on my channel, Ink Flare Studio, and I am trying to reincorporate books into it as well. So you guys should definitely come over and subscribe. I just recently hit 1,000 subscribers. Yay. So I'm really excited, and I'm posting a lot more these days. So
yeah. I like it. It's aesthetically pleasing.
So aesthetically pleasing.
It makes me feel like real regular.
It's insane. I know. It's real good to look at.
It makes me feel real basic when I post my things, guys. Real basic. But also, I love that you said you're actually thinking about bringing books back into your channel, because today's topic is actually about our hopes for Booktube's future.
Yes.
So,
but
go ahead.
Troy, tell them what the name of your channel is again and put it in the chat so that they can access it.
It's Inkfleur Studio.
But before we can talk about our hopes for the future of Booktube, we have to talk about what we feel is going on with Booktube presently and kind of the current landscape of Booktube as we see it right now. So we're going to start there. So now it's kind of hard for me because I feel like I started stepping away from Booktube shortly after we did quarantine pages, and I'm not really sure why that is. Now that I look back, that was like the last major bookish event that I kind of was a part of that we can say was a community type thing, and like all these booktubers came together to do this thing. That was the last thing that I really did, and then I did try to stay involved with Booktube for a little while after that, but I did kind of start to take major steps back. I stopped. The biggest thing I will say is I stopped watching Booktube, and I think once I stopped watching Booktube, that led to me not making videos anymore. It's weird how like watching it and like being a viewer and being invested in that way can also inspire you as a creator to be a part of the community. Because that's kind of how it started. Like I was a watcher, an avid watcher of Booktube before I ever had a YouTube channel. So once I stopped watching it, I felt very kind of disconnected from everything. And then I slowly stopped making videos. But I feel like Booktube right now, I mean, people have, there's been discussions about whether it's dying. And I don't know if dying is the right term, but I do think that it is going through a metamorphosis, if you will. Like when people talk about the phoenix right now in its evolution, it's in that part of the resurrection cycle. That's kind of how I feel.
So, you want to go, Britt?
Nah, go ahead.
So I stopped. I'm sure the last time I stopped really engaging in Booktube was probably my last video on Bookish Waffler. At one point, I think because I was in my dorm when I was making the videos, like Oshile, I watched it for years before I ever started. I think I started in like 2015, if I'm not mistaken. But honestly, the reason I stopped posting on there was partially because in 2020, when we started having the influx of people following a lot of Black creators, it really made my channel look like I was a bot. And so it was like I was like getting to over 1,000 subscribers, and then my views were like 10 views. I think the most views I got were my journaling videos, which of course I had already stopped doing on that channel. And so I just kind of, do we have back?
I'm not sure. Keep talking.
Okay.
Feedback?
Yeah, I thought I heard it.
It might have been me, but continue.
But so when that happened, my channel was just, it made no sense. And I'm sure to YouTube, it didn't make sense either for me to have all these influx of subscribers and then this just keep coming down. So I started pulling away from using that. And I already started Inkfleur Studio, I think a couple of months prior. So I just kind of focused on that. But then I really stopped having interest in watching Booktube videos, and I just did not watch them. And eventually I actually logged out of my email attached to it. So once I wasn't logged in and I wasn't constantly seeing, someone update, I just completely tapped out.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? When you were talking, Troy, you are absolutely right about, everything that happened in 2020 as a result of the Black Lives Matter movement. It did flow over into our little bookish world here on YouTube. And you started getting all these people subscribing to your channel, but they weren't actually engaging with your content or watching your videos, or they'd watch like your most popular video, or they'd watch like maybe 2 to 3 videos, and then they would be gone. So the like watch time and watch hours and viewership numbers versus the amount of subscribers being gained was off, and it kind of threw off your analytics and just like threw everything off and kind of stagnated a lot of people's channels. And then for me, as you were talking, I'm starting to realize the reason I joined Booktube, well, I started off with NaNoWriMo, and then I just always wanted to be on Booktube because I had watched Booktube for years. So it was like a natural progression after NaNoWriMo to join Booktube. And at the time, at that specific time in my life, I didn't really have a lot of friends. I had just moved back to North Carolina from New York. I didn't really know a lot of people. And I didn't really have anyone to talk to about books and reading. And so the community online filled this void that I needed of like, oh my gosh, I just read this book and I want to share it. Or like, I just bought these books and I want to share it. I want to talk about this. And I'm starting to realize that starting this book club and like making friends on Booktube, and then those friends crossing over to real life, and now being able to text those friends about books that I'm reading, being able to communicate with those friends about books that I'm reading, filled that void that Booktube was filling for me. And so it makes sense now why my interest began to wane and why I just kind of step away, because it was like the reason that I joined the community in the first place was taken away. Not to mention the community started splintering and wasn't such like a cute little community anymore. It had blown up, and like you had to be, you know, making videos about like, I read all the books that Kendall Jenner is pretending to read. Watch my video. I read like top 10 books that Gigi Hadid mentioned in this interview that someone probably sent her, publicist probably sent her a list of, you know, like I read those. You want to know my thoughts? You know, it was like, I'm reading romance novels and I hate them, so I'm going to talk shit about them the whole time. Join me. So it was just like, okay, I can't. I was like, I can't compete with this. It's like, this is not.
Honestly, I will say this: hats off to those people, because to sit through a bunch of books you hate, that's you're very strong, because
they unlocked
IDNF so quick.
They unlocked this formula, right? That was like
hate reading became big.
Right. They unlocked this formula that it's like so many of us didn't even know the formula existed. We were just talking about books that we actually liked and that we actually read. You know what I mean? And so it was just like, oh, wow. So it unlocked this like entertainment. So before, Booktube was about like sharing community and a lot of people coming together like to fan out and stand out about their favorite books and all that. And it branched off into like this entertainment sector that reached people that don't even read, you know, like it reached people that just wanted to be entertained and were like, oh, this looks good. Like, oh, Kendall Jenner reads. Oh, this person's talking about it. Oh, I want to watch this. So it was like that whole entertainment aspect had been untapped. And then once it was tapped into, that crossed over to like book talk, and book talk took off. And it was just like, it was happening so quickly that I think for a lot of booktubers, you couldn't keep up with it, like the changes. And it was just like, so I think that that's where we are right now with Booktube. Like it's changed so much, and what's popular has changed so much that a lot of booktubers can't keep up.
So I'm going to read comments first.
I'm sorry. Wait, the shucking and jiving it.
I have lots of thoughts. But also, I hate you, Troy.
Shuck and jive will forever be one of my favorite things to say.
I love shuck and jive. That is
it.
It's one of those phrases. Okay.
It's amazing.
So, we have a lot of comments.
Read Love Listen says, influx of posers.
Ooh.
I have to type in my faves or to see bookish people that are actually book folks.
Ooh.
I agree, because, you know, sometimes Brittany would have to tell me that she posted a new video and I'd be like,
oh,
it's
no.
not in my subscription box.
It's very clear the algorithm does not like people who actually read books. I follow people who do book wrap-ups and don't see that they've done a book wrap-up until I click on their channel. Houseway. But yeah, back to these wonderful comments. I'm trying to get back into Booktube, but I've been so inspired to do other content that I've created another channel that I call my dumbing channel for non-bookish content. This is a factor, I think, as well. People are evolving and finding that they like other things, which is not bad. Sometimes I search for new Black creators. But everyone makes the same type of cozy vlogs where they go to Barnes and Nobles and buy Colleen Hoover and Starbucks.
Okay, let me just talk about this as a segue because I'm going to go on a rant, but it's not really a rant because I feel like I can't rant like Brittany can. So this is a mini rant.
It's still a rant just because it's not like mine.
Look, Brittany's rants are literally like art and mine's not going to be to that level. But this is just a frustration that's been building within me that I just have to let out. Ever since reading romance became popular and not like something to make fun of people for and say that they're not reading real books and that's not cringe, now it's cool and popular to read romance. The way these mediocre ass authors get propped up. Sorry, Colleen, you know I love you. I love all your books, but I'm just saying. The way these mediocre run-of-the-mill just like, okay, I can tell you're new to the genre and it's cool now. Okay, before 5, 10, 8 years ago, us romance readers, we were shit on. We were told that they weren't real books. We were told that it wasn't real literature. We were told this, we were told that. But now it's cute to read romance books. First of all, I'm sick and tired of people being triggered by shit that's not triggering. Get the fuck over it. I'm tired of people whining. Oh my God, this book is promoting this and it's shut the fuck up. I am tired. I'm so sorry, but I just had to get this out of pedestalizing authors that are just not like, and then when you read it and it doesn't live up to the hype, you want to go on another rant about how it's not good.
That quote is brought to you by The Hating Game.
I just want to be like, let's be real. You literally read this book because 12 white women on TikTok told you to read it, which is fine. Great. Wonderful. Love it. But now you're pissed because you don't think it's good and it didn't live up to, I don't know, Pride and fucking Prejudice. What the hell? I'm sorry. I'm done. Okay. I'm done.
I don't want to call it a rant because I can't rant like Brittany.
That wasn't as good as yours. I just had to let it out because it's been building. You
dragged an entire group of people.
It's just been building for so long. And every time I see a TikTok video that is along these lines, the rage just continues to build up in my soul. And I'm just like, I don't understand.
Colleen Hoover discourse is always so funny to me because there's this like on book Twitter especially, there's always a comment. People are just like that they've been trying to tell Booktube for years how trash Colleen Hoover is. And I'm just like, well, in retrospect, it's not true that all of a sudden people hate Colleen Hoover. That's what her cults love to say, that people just all of a sudden are hating her. I remember in early Booktube years, especially when Ugly Love started going around, everyone hated that book. And everyone would be like, this is what you guys are reading and liking. Like a lot of people didn't like Colleen Hoover. The thing is that TikTok blew her up. And
they did.
So many.
And they set her up on this pedestal. Mm-hmm. And the part that upsets me the most is that people who actually read romance, like seriously, like regularly, will tell you that Colleen Hoover is literally like the Days of Our Lives of romance. Like if you want some shit that's over the top, people crying at the top of the hat, some crazy plot twist that makes no sense, probably offending some people, probably poorly researched shit, but it's very entertaining, then by all means, read a Colleen Hoover book. She does what she does very well. Very kind of. Nicholas Sparks is a little bit more sappy and like, oh, I'm just in a small southern town and on a boat, type of thing. But it's like, it's different. But it's like people who actually are very well versed in romance and just genres will kind of like try to steer you like, oh, okay, do you like more over the top? It's kind of like people who complain about Sarah J. Maas, and it's just like, I don't have patience for it. I don't.
As a collective, I'm just so glad that I wasn't the first person to rant today. I'm gonna go back to the comments. Honestly, this group is the only thing Booktube that I watch on YouTube. Aw, thanks, Ted.
Aw, thank you.
On a personal level, my Booktube career was brief. I didn't review popular books, and I soon moved my reviews to articles. I'm seeing a trend here in these comments. I technically have a channel with a few videos, but I just feel like I don't 100% fit in based on the books I like to read and promote. Oh my God. People started buying Black books less too. Like they don't even pretend anymore.
Y'all, February's in about a week. Y'all just wait. That's when the influx gonna come.
Oh, listen. That's why, like, I know this is not the read, but I just want everybody to know I'm talking about that at the end of this podcast. Just so we're clear. I know this is not the read, but I encountered a envelopian who had some things to say that really pissed me off, and I want to share with y'all.
Oh wow. Okay.
Let's see. I'm going through the comments. Everybody is basically trying to agreeing that like it's a little too gimmicky. Everybody agrees with you, Ashley.
Well, I mean, that's what's happening. Look up the most watched booktube videos and look up the booktubers, because let's face it, they're not booktubers. I don't know where they came from, but here they are, who have over 100,000 subscribers. And you'll see the same 4 or 5 faces that honestly, if I was one of those people that believed in like plants, you know how people believe in like music industry plants, I'd be like, where did these people come from? When did they come? When they show up? And and again, I have nothing against them. I'm just saying that like when that type of content gets the attention that it gets and the interest that it gets, and it has the power to actually break out of Booktube, right? And you get people from all corners of the internet watching that content. Great, wonderful for them. I'm glad that they are able to do that. But on the flip side, what it does is it just like, it's like a seesaw and it goes like this. And the balance in the actual book community is totally off. And now you can't find people who you literally have to specifically type in a specific creator or type in review about this specific book and then read through. That's all I'm saying.
So here's my current assessment of Booktube from a consumer standpoint, and then I can do one from like a business standpoint because I understand what's happening. So consumer wise, I think Booktube sucks. Because, and I'm trying to say this as nicely as possible. I don't blame people for making content that they know people are going to watch.
Yeah.
Because sometimes making content and making the stuff that you really want, you already know it's not going to get views. And after a while, that can get very disheartening.
Yes.
Especially if you're a Black creator, you already know your stuff's not even going to be watched unless you do something to make white people happy. So it's like you automatically start thinking like, I need to do these kind of videos. So I'm not going to bash somebody for doing that because I understand why. Because like that's how we play the game on YouTube. That's just what you have to do. But that doesn't stop me from specifically stating I don't participate in Booktube. I make videos on Booktube when I feel like it. Yeah. And most of the time it's just, here are some books that I read and my opinions on those books. Because those are the type of videos that I actually genuinely miss on Booktube. Because I used to watch people's wrap-up videos. It's very few people that do wrap-up videos nowadays.
I know.
Like, and it
just doesn't happen.
Because I'm like, are we not reading? Like, I still like the idea of like group reading. I love the readathons. I love, we're going to group read this book and like sit on live and talk about it. I love those because that's the focus is reading. Like we're reading. That's the whole purpose of Booktube. But then it's like, if you like this book, then here are 5 books that fit this suggestion. And it's literally a sponsored video by HarperCollins.
Yep.
Like those videos, again, make your money. But can we like trickle in some real videos in between your sponsors? Like make your money, do what you need to do to make your coin. But I don't know. I understand why it's going the way that it's going. I get it because TikTok created an audience for short form content. YouTube is not short form. That's why they created YouTube Shorts. So trying to attract an audience that wants to consume content in short form to your long form where you have been working passionately for years is a struggle bus. In fact, I don't see very many booktubers connecting very well to the short form content at all. Because short form content is more like, here's the information, here's what you need to know, boom, 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 boom. Long term is watch me have a reading vlog where I read a book and I give you my immediate impressions of the book as I read it. I do kind of miss those vlogs, by the way. If anybody wants to bring those back regularly. I like hearing people's responses to books.
You know what's funny with you saying about very few booktubers can really get onto the TikTok thing? I was listening to Remy Ashton and I forget the other girl's name, Alicia, I think, podcast, and Remy does YouTube. She's a YouTuber, but she has a friend who's like a famous TikToker, and she asked her friend who's like how are my TikToks? She's like, oh, it's nice. It seems like a YouTuber who's trying to be a TikToker. And I was like,
True.
Yeah.
But the problem is TikTok is so incredibly powerful, and I'm not on Book Talk like that. Like I have an account, but I don't post, and I watch TikTok here and there. I'm not like an avid TikTok watcher. I'm more of a YouTube Shorts person. But I will say that you know how powerful a form of media is when you go on to barnesandnoble.com and Book Talk has its own section.
I mean, think about it.
Book Talk has its own section.
We started off with book blogs. And then the one that took over was YouTube, Booktube. Then Bookstagram tried to pop in, but Bookstagram never got the chance to be as the know-it-all section until TikTok came. Because the people on Instagram shifted fairly decently to the content of Book Talk.
Yes.
But also, yet again, especially since TikTok chooses who goes viral and who doesn't, the big people on Book Talk are white. The big people on Book Talk are the ones that are sponsored by publishing companies. Like, the business part of the book world is ruining our book content as creators and viewers of the content. Because before, we determined what was going to be on the channels, what was going to be talked about. We blew up a book on our own.
Yes.
Now, please, sis who's never read a book in her life has 1 million followers on TikTok and does this, the book is blown up.
You know how crazy TikTok is? I want to say in 2020, there was this TikTok. I don't remember the girl's name. I'm sure if you just put it in TikTok, you'll find it. Where this white girl, I think the TikTok was like, the caption was like, when you ask your best friend to drop everything, move to an island so you could write your book. And they legitimately moved somewhere so she can write her book. And it blew up so much that she has like thousands and thousands of followers. Her book got picked up, and I was just like, what? I was just like, this is insane. Like, TikTok.
That's the power of Book Talk. Like, that's when I realized how powerful. That's when I realized how powerful it was when Barnes and Noble literally had a whole section on their website that said books from
if you go to the section, the majority of it is literally Colleen Hoover, and I just feel really bad for anybody whose initial book experience is like Book Talk. I feel so bad for them because it's like, do you know how many authors of substance exist outside of the social media world that is being presented on like the big screen? Like, there's so many different things that are on there. There are still booktubers that are out here still trying to produce book content. And I know that there's going to be somebody that's going to listen to this and think we're being haters. I don't give a fuck.
Do you know what it reminds me of?
What?
It reminds me of when we first moved to America and we went to school. We went to an inner city school in Philly, and they served these pizzas that were like square pizzas that I'm sure they got from like a deep freezer that was like been frozen for X amount of time and that they just reheated in the microwave. And I just remember thinking that pizza was just so amazing because I'd never eaten pizza before. That was the first pizza I've ever had in my life. We just moved to America, and I'm like, oh my God, this pizza is so good. And then I actually had really good pizza that was not deep for frozen, that was not just popped in the microwave. And I was like, wow, that other pizza was actually trash. But because I've never had pizza before, and that was my first pizza experience, I put it up on a pedestal.
And that's how I describe BookTok.
That's why it frustrates me.
Square pizza.
That's why it frustrates me that these are the people that are making book recommendations and that are swaying bestseller lists and that are swaying like how many certain books get sold, especially in the romance genre. It just kills my soul because I'm just like, y'all have never had pizza. This is your first slice of pizza.
This is your first slice of pizza.
Please have other pizza.
This is your first square pizza.
You know what's crazy too is that Booktube is so interesting because I remember I made a video years ago. I must have been like a sophomore in college, so maybe I was about 20. And there is definitely feedback on my mic. What the hell?
We don't hear it.
I hear it. I don't know. Maybe just my.
Black Prose Club has tech difficulties. We're fine.
Always. So in the video, I don't remember. Honestly, I don't remember 100% what the video was about. But I remember at one point in the video, I talk about how like up until like Booktube, I had no idea like what YA was. I didn't even know the term existed. I didn't know what new adult was. Nothing like that. Like I knew genres. I knew fantasy and romance and sci-fi and stuff like that. And I remember some girl in the comments was like arguing with me that it existed when she was younger. And I really had to stop myself from going, girl, you're like 10 years younger than me. Because wholeheartedly, when I was younger, I don't recall ever going into any bookstore, Borders, Barnes & Noble.
It did not exist.
Bookstores. Nothing said YA or new adult or anything like that. Like it said there's a fantasy section, there's a romance section, a sci-fi, fiction, whatever. But I didn't see any young adult or anything like that when I was
younger.
It didn't
exist. YA was created after Twilight blew up. Then all of a sudden there was a YA. Before
Twilight era.
I can't remember there being a YA section. Twilight kind of like spearheaded that whole genre.
And I was a teenager when that movie came out. So yeah, 100% you probably did see it when you were 10 because you were 10 and I was damn near 17. Like, no, I didn't know.
Exactly.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like we've kind of bagged on it a lot. What are some things?
Let's move on to the topic.
Let's go to the positives because I could drag things like this for forever.
This is a reminder.
So
take Jackie outside.
I can't.
This is like, if this is going to become a regular thing, I stand. Is Jackie giving you the evil eye?
Poor Jackie.
Jackie is laid up sleeping.
Okay. Okay, so I guess we're gonna say, what is something that you like about Booktube that's still happening? Or I'm not gonna just say Booktube, I'm gonna say the book community in general. What is something that you like about the current book community? And then what is something that you would like to see from the book community?
I love all of the book clubs. I see more and more all the time. And I really love the ones where they're actually like meeting up in person. Like they'll like meet in a city and like everybody will come out to a certain location and they'll talk about the book. Like I love that. And I've been seeing more and more, especially within like the Black book sphere, like a lot of Black book clubs have popped up and I enjoy seeing that. I want to see more of that. I think that would be really cool for something for Black prose to aspire to one day, where we can have in-person meetups and maybe meet up in a city and everyone come together. I think that would be really cool. So I love seeing stuff like that. And just anything that fosters community, like the readathons, like you mentioned earlier, the buddy reads, even the live stream with people reading, reading sprints, stuff like that. Like I like it.
You want to go, Troy?
I have not watched a Booktube video in a year.
So I'll answer then. So one, I like reading sprints to a certain extent. I think because I don't actually use reading sprints to read. I use them for productivity. Like I like just hearing people talk about what they're reading. So like I be on many people's reading sprints. Sorry guys, I forget to comment. I know that is such a faux pas. It's a productivity sprint for me. I love the read-alongs, the readathons. I love anything where it's like, hey, let's read. However, what I would like to see, and this is especially for Black book content creators, well, actually POC content creators that focus more heavily on like representing their own people, I would like to see us go beyond the publisher, if that makes sense. So obviously, I love reading fantasy books, and I do read a lot of the hyped ones, and I'm never going to shy away from that. But I'm also actively trying to read other ones that like the publisher never mentioned.
Yeah.
Like I'm usually going to Miss WSC readers list and pulling out a book. I'm just talking about it with people in DMs about like books that they're looking at, books that they're not. And like, I want us, I mean, this is going to sound so terrible. I don't know how to say this nicer. We're not going to get monetized anyway because we're the wrong color. So why don't we stop trying to strive for white acceptance and just finally talk about all of the books that deserve to be talked about? Like if we step out in a, it's like step out in a way where like, this is the content that we deserve to make. This is the content we've always wanted to make. Fuck everybody else. Let's just do what we want to do. And I'm sorry, the moment they realize they're not included, they're going to jump in our space anyway.
That's true.
That's what I want to see. Like I want us to read the books that we want to read, not just for views, but because we enjoy them. Talk about authors. I loved that year. Was it 2020 or 2021 when Jerry did that big ass?
Oh, that was really cool.
Yes.
I want to say, wasn't that towards the beginning of last year?
It was.
Or the summer?
I think it was 2021.
Summer. 2021,
I think. 2021.
Okay. In the summer, right?
Me and Jerry are friends. I talk to Jerry on a regular basis. And like, I knew she was working on a project. Didn't know that I was about to be blown away by the project that she was working on. But like, that's the type of content that I'm talking about. Like, we are very creative people. We are passionate about our books. We are passionate about the things that we read. And we're also passionate just like about our community. And we can still be a community. Like, I know not everybody's going to get along. Everybody of the same skin tone is not your homie. That's fine. But like the small groups of people that are still together, like us, like I want us to really like the way that this year for the book reading, we didn't list anybody on the 4 books that we picked. I don't recall seeing them hyped up by publishers ever. Like, I don't see that. And I'm just like, I think we can do it. Like, I really think we can step outside of, I'm sorry, because this is just what it is. The white gaze is what determines the book content that grows.
Yes.
TikTok literally just got proven that they choose who goes viral.
Yes.
You are not going to be chosen. We're Black. We're fantastic. Let's just do our own thing.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, the moment they realize that we no longer need them, we're no longer posting Black lists to follow only on Black History Month. Like, we're no longer doing that. Like, we're going to be fine without them. A lot of us that have a passion for reading are still here in some capacity. Like, a lot of us I have noticed a lot of us have dropped down. There are a lot of booktubers that have stopped creating content entirely. Respect. Do what you have to do to protect your mental health. But I personally just think we have the means to kind of do whatever the hell we want to do. We're still going to get the same amount of views because it's us supporting us.
Yeah.
So why are we still working towards getting theirs? Like, let's do our thing and like stay from there. That's my like wish, because I know that Black Prose is going to be stepping out of our comfort zone a little bit this year with some things. So I'm just like, maybe if like we all did it. Also, I just want to shout out Black Prose again, because Black Prose shouts out Black romance specifically every year. I think like without Miss WSC Reader, I wouldn't know half the authors I know. Like, that's just real. But like I said, there are people out here, and again, as a Black content creator, you are not obligated to only read Black books. I will side-eye the fuck out of you if you don't read any of them. So there's a balance there. Like,
yeah, definitely.
It's kind of like, it just does, I'm confused as to why you would never pick up a Black book as a Black person. Also, to anybody who's not Black listening to this, when you do pick up a Black book, just because the main character is Black, that doesn't mean you can't relate. But anyways, I feel like we have given some good points. Does anybody else have any thoughts before I go into my Black History Month rant? Ooh.
Ooh. Oh my goodness.
Just saying.
Let me at least put in one thing, because I don't really I don't think I watched a Booktube video outside of like the off chance Brittany posted a video, and then I sometimes will watch Jerry's videos. But one thing I will say about Booktube, and maybe this like book social media world in a general sense, is I feel like a lot of times it would be such a nicer place if people mind their business. Like, and this doesn't go for any of the isms or phobias. Like, if it has homophobia, racism, xenophobia, that's obviously totally different. But sometimes people be minding their business, and people just get so upset about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I saw on Twitter, I think it was last week or maybe it was a few days ago, this girl on Twitter posted an excerpt from a book she was writing. I think it was a romance she was reading. And when I tell you the backlash about this romance that she got, people were just like, I want to say her name is like, okay, I'm not gonna lie, I say I know her name. But people were just like going in on how toxic it was. I read it and I didn't think the page was toxic. The guy was something along the line of something like, she was saying that they were broken up, and he was like, "You said we were broken up. I never said I agreed to that." But not in a serious way, but like he was kind of just like, playing a joke.
I assume it went into like him being
the backlash for that one thing. And there were even people like WLC said, yeah, Sill's post. Okay, I thought I said it was an S, but I couldn't think of what the girl's name was exactly when I'm talking about. And I was just like, and so many people were just like, this is not toxic. And like, he was not being like dead ass, like, oh no, you're mine and only mine. Like, that was not what it was. And I just feel like so much time is spent on worrying about what someone else is reading, again, when it's not any of the phobias or isms, that it's so irritating. If you wouldn't accept that in a romance, okay, move on.
There's
and
so
go
many
read one
though.
that you would read. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
That's like the stuff that I was talking about in my rant. Like, people pick up a book where literally the author tells you going into it, like, hey, this is what happens in the book. Just letting you know. Then they read it and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe that what they said was going to happen happened. And you're just like, oh.
What kills me is these are the same people who will like read very hardcore dark romances where like the guy kidnaps her and rapes her like 80 times and they're in love with it. And I'm just like, you literally just read a dark romance that I saw 2 days ago. And now this is where you draw the line.
I have this theory where I feel like a lot of these dark romance readers look at dark romance as fantasy, even though dark romance 99.9% of the time is contemporary. They look at it as a fantasy world, and then when they read a contemporary that is not dark, they find stuff that is wrong in it, and it's hypocritical because they just wrote but in their minds, the dark romance is fantasy. I really think that's what's happening. I'm telling you.
My second thing I would say about Booktube is I want people to stop calling reading vlogs when they're just daily vlogs. Like, if you are like 89% of the video not talking about what you're reading, it's just a vlog. It's just a vlog, which is fine. There is nothing wrong with bringing vlogs into your channel, okay? But it's a vlog.
Give me some reason.
It is a day in your life. Just call it a day in my life. You could literally do what those big booktubers do, where they'll be like, day in my life, going to the bookstore, going to Target. Like, just do it. Like, that's all it is. It's not a reading vlog. You talked about a book one time.
Woo! Listen,
It's like false advertising. I clicked on this expecting
clickbait. Just clickbait. I don't appreciate this.
Could you imagine someone going, "Oh, this is my January wrap up," and then the whole video they're at Barnes and Noble? Like, what are you talking about?
Troy's like, why are you making your bed and having aesthetic shots of you making coffee? Where are the books? Where's the reading?
Like, or they'll put a B-roll of them reading, which, okay, fine, okay, but that doesn't count. You have said nothing. I'm not even sure what book you're reading.
Yo, Logbook Titian said, I feel Simi called out. Listen.
I'm sorry.
Oh no.
I mean, just title it differently, you know?
I feel like we've all done it. We're all guilty of this.
Like anybody who's attempted to do a reading vlog and they feel like they didn't make enough content, like that's when they start adding other things into it. Yes. It all happens. Like that is a content creator profile.
No, and let me also say this though. If you're actually talking about books in it, then it's nothing to do with you. But there are literally reading vlogs out there where people don't talk about books.
See, it's the thing. Like, if you're gonna be like, "Hey guys, you know, this is my week of reading. Here are the books that I'm currently reading," and you talk about those books and you actually read those books and it's on camera, respect. Now, if you show me in the beginning of that freaking video the books that you're reading, and then at the very end of the vlog, you tell me that you've read such and such amount of pages and I've heard nothing from you, that is one where you say a day in my life. Vlog, where like, you know how like they have like the weekly vlog and it'll be like, oh, like I you know, family vacation, reading and more. Because I have watched some very clickbaity ass reading vlogs because in the thumbnail it's what I'm interested in, and then I click on it, I'm like, well, where the hell was the fuck? Where was the
like, with Logbook Titian, it's like I'm saying, it's like if you're talking about the books and in between you're cooking or you go to the store, that's still a reading vlog.
Talking about the book.
Yeah,
like,
but there are actual reading vlogs where they'll be like, okay, this is what I'm reading this week. And then that's the last time you hear anything about reading.
Until the end, where they tell you they read like 50 pages.
And I'm just like, when? When did you do that?
A vlog is supposed to tell me a story without you specifically telling me the story. So show me that you read the book, sis. Like,
it's hilarious.
Like, to each his own, but at the very least, like, can you in the beginning say you do a lot of stuff other than reading to save my click?
Like, I can't specifically call out content creators because the purpose of us talking about this is to not specifically name content creators. We just wanted to talk about this as a whole.
I can see y'all with like the little like bar, like zooming through, like where's the reading part? Nope,
like,
nope,
no reading. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, click back out.
Before there are certain content creators that if I see it in their thumbnail, that I can pretty much like look for the one time you see the book up in the thing and like that'll be the only time. I've done that before. Because I'm like, I don't know how to say this nicely. If I'm not at work, I don't care about your vlogs.
Oh no.
If I'm not
a vlog person,
I don't care about your vlogs. Now, when I'm working, I watch everybody's vlogs, like the ones where you're reading, the ones where you're not. I watch them all. But like, if I'm specifically like, oh my God, they read this book, I want to know what they think. And then I watched your vlog and you didn't tell me what you thought. And I watched multiple vlogs and you did that to me. I will never watch another one of your vlogs. It is basically clickbait because at the end of the day, like I follow like book content creators are freaking humans. That part I get, but do not label things a certain way and play me because if I'm obsessed, I'm like, bitch, you didn't read anything. Like that would be like me being like, okay, guys, this book is going to be, or this vlog. Like, remember when I tried to vlog myself reading romances and commenting on them?
Yes.
But like, I kept forgetting to record because I was too busy calling y'all to talk about my responses to reading it.
Yes.
The romance vlog never came out.
Yep.
Because I didn't have the content to give nobody. Like I would start recording and then stop and be like, why the fuck do y'all have me reading this? So it's like,
and again, I will say, if in the vlog you go to Barnes and Noble too, that's fine. If you go to Starbucks too, that's fine. But if there is no book content outside of that, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, you're getting up and you want Starbucks to go along with your reading, or you want Starbucks for just you want Starbucks, then go get Starbucks.
Listen,
that's fine.
Blogging is just telling a story.
Yeah.
Like if the title of your story is about a book and you don't talk about a book,
that's clickbait. Which, okay, listen.
Get your views, but I'm still
get your
gonna
views,
talk
honey.
about you.
But I'm gonna be upset.
But just know in my mind,
it.
I'm gonna be like, how dare you? You just tricked me into watching this for a book and you gave me no book.
Oh my goodness.
Blog Petition says she's tagging you in her next reading vlog.
If you're talking about books, it's not what I'm talking about.
I'm about to say yours doesn't count because like you'll be cooking and talking about the book while you cook. That's different.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not saying you can't do other stuff in the vlog, but there are literally reading vlogs where they
there are people that claim it's a reading vlog and put books on the shelf as their book content.
Oh my gosh. That is crazy. Fake news.
I think today was a really good, funny discussion for us. I'm gonna ask 3 things for anybody that's viewing our lovely podcast. 1, we would really appreciate if you like this video. And 2, we would really like it if you subscribed. 3, anybody who is participating in Black History Month and you choose to uplift non-Black people running readathons, book events, Black events, or anything of that nature that was sponsored by a publisher and not a Black person, go the fuck away. If you, a non-Black person during Black History Month, decides that you are the main focus point of the 28 days a year that we are allowed to be Black in public without we still get ridicule, but you know what I mean. Go away. Stay your ass home. Go to Target. Read a fucking Black book. I don't know, but stay away from our month. Granted, a lot of people are going to be trying to shout out people and follow people. Do not follow Black creators if you're just going to fuck up their analytics. If you're doing it because, oh my God, I'm not racist. Look, I follow 3 Negroes. No. I'm good. Stop messing up people's stuff. Stop. You're not helping us. You're ruining it. If the only time that we come up in your mind is Black History Month, because that's the only time you can be bothered, keep it. We're good. In fact, don't come over here to Black Prose ever because your feelings will only get hurt. Every single time. Like every single time. If you feel like, oh my gosh, I had no idea all of these Black content creators and Black authors existed. Black History Month is the only time I've ever thought to Google it. Stay home. We don't need you. Do not go on people's chats. Do not go on people's pages talking about, oh, this is so good. This is such great information. I just don't know how I ever would have found it. Stay home. We don't need any of you. Y'all are fucking exhausting. I had an envelopian tell me today. Envelopian. And like, that's why I have to always specify there's a difference because like, not all white people are terrible, but the ones that are terrible deserve names. So like this envelopian told me that she was shocked that the majority of my library is Black and POC because she didn't know that many books were out there.
I'm sorry?
I was like, do you think they only pop up in February like an Easter bunny? Bitch, what the fuck?
I have like, no words. I'm actually
I thought she was kidding, so I laughed. And then she was like,
that's intensely embarrassing.
It's intensely embarrassing, but like as a Black person, I genuinely was like, I can't go off on this lady like I really want to because it's going to be the angry Black woman. But like at the same time, why am I not allowed to drag her for filth?
That's actually extremely embarrassing. She should be embarrassed. She not embarrassed.
Yeah. I love that meme.
This is my favorite part about this particular envelopian. Because this is another PSA. if you feel like your proximity to Blackness gives you some type of ability, or I don't know, that I can talk about it because I'm doing this with a Black person, find the first cliff to jump off of. I don't even want you to go away. I just want you to, because that was the lady that I encountered. She was like, well, I'm looking for books for my daughter because she's Black. Do you have any suggestions? And on one hand, I'm like, I really want to tell this lady, like, to go ask her Black ass husband. But I have a feeling that he's not really promoting much going on there anyway. So, like, I should answer her. But also, Google is free.
So free.
Like, Google is so free. In fact, anytime you want to find something Black, if you go on Google and type Black, insert whatever that subject is, you'll find us all, because we don't exist outside of Black for most search engines.
Yeah.
So it's like, she ruined my whole Target experience.
It's so giving sorry. Very much, I did not know you were literate.
I'm fairly certain that she was shocked that, like, oh my God, like, she can read more than Dr. Seuss. I don't know. She irked me to a way. And then, like, she was like, I saw her again, because, you know, Target's been getting, like, better about their Black History Month, where they're actually hiring, like, Black small businesses to create the stuff. So I was looking at the stuff and, like, not really feeling much of it. But I did know I wanted the Miles Morales stuff. So she's like, I'm just so happy that they're getting, like, Black superheroes. And at this point, I wanted to throat punch her.
Because Miles is the first one.
Yeah.
Because Miles, Storm, and Black Panther were, like, the only ones that ever, like, when I tell you,
oh God,
I genuinely, like, had to hold myself, because I knew the moment that I wasn't polite, like, I knew this was going to go down in a different way. But at the same time, like, I wanted to deadpan, like, I deadpanned her when she said the superhero comment, and she kept talking. And I was just like,
not good. Not good.
Because again, this is what I'm talking about, where, like, you are a guest in a Black space, act accordingly.
Can I add one to it?
Oh yes, please.
This bothers me so much, and I don't know if it's just me. Something really rubbed me the wrong way when non-Black people are, especially during Black History Month, because that's the only time they do it, are, you know, giving recommendations. And they always say, this book is so important. And I'm just like, how would you know?
Also, let's be clear. The only books that are important are the ones where it's violence against us. Let's also remember that.
Black trauma.
It's
like, how would you know if it's important?
Here are 15 Black recommendations of Black trauma. Perfect for your display. Like, literally, stay in your lane.
Like, damn, I gotta be depressed for Black History Month?
Please save all of the hashtags for us. Do not waste our hashtags. I wish I could get on Book Talk and tell them all for the month of February to mute themselves. Because we already know somebody is, I bet you, I'm betting money, somebody is going to recommend The Hate U Give on Book Talk this month, this February.
I really didn't want to say it, but it was in my mind. When you said Black trauma.
There should be a bingo card for the books they recommend.
I would just like to say my first shout out for Black History Month is the Black content creator / blogger named, her channel name and blog name is For Harriet.
Oh yeah.
And she has some great merch that you may want to grab that might do the talking for you. But she has these hoodies, and on the hoodies, it's Black women are not here to save you.
Oh my gosh.
Great idea. That is my first shout out. She has that merch out now. The hoodies come in all different colors. I also really like For Harriet and like what she does and how important she is to just like the Black feminine space. So
sometimes
I like her. That's my 2 cents.
Melanin Eclectic will be at a Black History vending event on February 18th. If anybody is in the Houston area and wants to come through, that'll be a thing. Also one more thing. I forgot. I have one more rant. This isn't just for Black History Month, this is just in general, but please really, really embody it for Black History Month. If you are a non-Black person or even a Black person that thinks like this, please stop. I'm going to use Legend Born as an example. The way that I've seen Legend Born be presented whenever a white person is talking about it, it's being presented as a love triangle between two white men and the Black girl. While, yeah, there's this weird ass love thing that I don't give a fuck about in the book, like, why is that the only way that you feel like you should read it?
Yeah, that's not even something I think about mainly when I think about that book.
And I just want it again. That is centrally, like, that is centering the white. Like, that's still centering whiteness. So when they give the recommendations and they do that, I'm like, also, thank you, Black Fictitious. I was going to say this next thing. Why is it that y'all can glorify the fucked up relationships in that book, but when you read a book about a guy grabbing a woman and throwing her onto the bed and doing what she wants to do to him, that's toxic. All right, that's my last thing of today.
Oof.
Yep.
Oh, man.
I think today was great. Thank y'all so much for checking us out. Don't forget, the first book of the quarter is We Are the Origin.
The Origin,
yes. Lockhart. The special edition, I think, is still on her website. If anybody, because I know that we love special editions. That's something that the book community should keep doing. The special edition. I will continue to spend my coin if you continue to do special editions.
There's some really beautiful ones.
Yes. So we'll be reading this in March. So you have plenty of time. It's a pretty thick book. It's like 424 pages. So you've got time to read the book and come back and join us in March. You guys will see us again, obviously, in Black History Month. But also just a reminder, we're not doing the Black Book Summit this year. We're taking a nice break during Black History Month. We will be enjoying content and enjoying whatever we want, but we will not actually be providing content outside of our normal scheduled content. So that's like podcasts and things of that nature. If you have any topics that you guys would like for us to discuss, please leave them in the description box or the comment section. There we go. That's how you know I haven't been doing YouTube in a while. That worked.
And if you want to know what else we have planned for this year, you can catch our first podcast of the year, which we did back on January 9th. The playback is live on our channel. So if you want to kind of find out what the trajectory for Black Prose is going to be in 2023, what readathons we plan on doing, and things of that nature, then by all means, the playback is available and you can listen in.
And also, to always stay up to date with us, you can follow us on Instagram. That's Black Prose Book Club. We post schedules and other things on there as well.
I think that's it, guys. Good job. Y'all have a good day.
Thanks for coming.
Bye.
Bye. Stay